call the December Park Board meeting to order. I'm Pam Brokaw. I'll be chairing the meeting. Thank you for joining us. The first item on our agenda tonight is the consideration of the Park Board minutes from November 13th of 2012.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We have a member of the Park Board who needs to leave a little bit early, so we will move number 7, the 2013 park user fee item, up on the agenda to make sure that we can discuss that and get that covered. So that is item number 7 on the agenda right now, and it is our 2013 park user fees. I'll ask you to take a look at that information. Tom, do you have anything you want to share with us about this before we?
Just a couple of things. You'll see that there's some small increases in some of the activities and some of the rentals. Probably the biggest item is for the softball fields. The operating lighting budget seems like we can never, it just keeps increasing a lot every year. It's just consistently gone up. 2010, it's like $17,000. 2011, went up over $3,000, $3,300. We haven't got the total bill for this year yet, but seems like that's just been increasing every year. So we thought, and then these are just suggestions, so we're hoping we have some discussion from the park board. The other thing is, it seems as though the parks themselves have been, we have a lot more use. So we've had to actually add summer help, a second shift to clean restrooms and to pick up garbage in the busy summer months. So just the increase there, it's just overall park usage that we just felt that the restrooms need to be checked and empty trash cans and things like that. So other than that, just small increases in some of the field usage and I think on some of the pavilions we actually lowered the initial.
The security
I think
deposit.
we lowered the security deposit. We felt that we haven't really ever had any issues with people reserving the pavilions and having damage, so we thought it would be good to lower that.
So all of them that say NA mean what?
That means that there was no
change?
No change, right.
Okay.
So we just thought that's what we started with. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions or concerns or we're out of line or.
Quick question about the lighting at Grandview. Do we know if there are more leagues or more days or nights being played out there as far as light usage, or has that not changed much? Does anybody know?
It hasn't changed.
I don't know if it's being used.
Actually, it's been used a little bit less by the.
So it could be just the rates. The rates
Yeah,
have
is it
gone
the
up.
rates that are going up, or is it the usage that's going up?
Could be a little, but I think actually the night games have declined
Mm-hmm. They have.
a little bit. So
Is that all metered separately?
I think it's for all electric. I mean, so it's for the pavilion, for the concession stand, and for the lights. So. And I think the street lights or not the street lights, the parking lot lights are on that also.
Okay.
Will it be sometime in January that we would know kind of how 2012 ended up?
I think we'd have see how we
have.
end up in this year. So we could certainly hold off. Is that what you're saying? And see what it is and maybe take a reading on that.
I was just looking for another benchmark, if it was too late, or if we could afford to wait till we saw the
No,
2012.
we
and
can wait. We can wait.
That's a good idea.
Let's do that. I mean, 22% is a pretty hefty hike, and I just would like to baseline it against
Yeah.
something more recent.
And we were able to put into the 2013 budget the shortage.
Oh,
So, and
okay.
it didn't affect our overall budget. I mean, we were able to come up with it, so
Yep.
we could possibly
And
maybe
that's
make
what
it a
we
little
actually
less.
Base that on was, we, by rights, if you take our shortage from what we brought in and what we, electric bill was, actually we're 33% behind.
Oh, is that right?
So,
For this
we-
year?
Yeah.
Not to take.
So if we increased it, this is
Okay.
only a, 22%, we could have got another
Okay.
10% to break even.
This recommendation.
So 10%, we're gonna still be 20% behind.
Wow.
So that's it, maybe we'll have a better benchmark in the meeting in January, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against adjusting it to keep us in line. I was just looking for,
I'm kind of curious if we could go back and make sure it is indeed just rates going up.
Yep.
Because
Mhm.
unlike health insurance, I don't think energy costs are rising that much per year, so, but I may be wrong.
Well, and then maybe we'll have that sailboat mooring fee finalized. I'll sort of more information on that if we postpone
As we
this.
move forward with that, we haven't got into that too much yet.
Okay, and so we'll make a recommendation to hold off on this until the January meeting.
Any other concerns? Just basically, try to look at that, the highest one for the energy usage on, or the lights for Grandview Park.
I see there's some new ones on here, like multi-day fee, and there's been some of that, right, Deb? I guess that's,
Yeah, we were discussing that, whether, because some of the events use it for 2-3 days at a time, ties it up. We usually are only paying a one-time fee, so it was just a suggestion. The other one was the volleyball courts. They've never paid, so we thought, we do go down there, we empty all the garbage, we do some, prep work, so we thought, a fee for that, so.
Well, not only that, Deb, but I don't think we haven't been charging, but we just felt if they do reserve it, that, we have paperwork administrative
Yep.
fees, and if they do reserve it, it's kind of a special reservation.
Yep.
They can go down there anytime without reserving it, but once you tag it as yours, that we just felt that maybe that should be, considered a little small fee for that.
Okay, so we'll hold off on taking action until the next meeting.
And you guys can, review it more and come back with suggestions, ideas.
And since we're talking about the parks, your packet also, item number 3 is item number 5 is a summary of the park reservations. Okay, we'll just continue talking about park reservations, and does anyone have any questions or any comments about the park reservations? It looks like we had a great year, and heaviest use was through June and August, and we did implement this year. City residents have first chance at making park reservations. That's through February, and Deb indicated that we didn't run into any issues, or that there was not any comments that were made about city residents having that priority reservation, and that'll be in place in 2013 also. But any questions or comments for Tom and Deb on the park reservation summary from 2012?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go on to
Just a quick question. As far as reservations now for 2013, what's the protocol again? Does it start right at January
2013.
1st?
Yeah, January 1st. Yep.
So,
And we just do that through the end of February for the city residents, and it seemed to be just fine.
oh, through the end of February,
Mhm.
okay. Okay.
okay, And then we've got an update on moorings. Tom, do you have an update on?
The last park board meeting, park board approved that we move forward with the plan that we would add on to the excursion dock for not only the an extra dock for dinghy storage and for the addition of an area for several more boats, the transient boats that would come into the city, and also for extension off the main part of the dock to have a different docking system for the cruise line ships and make room so they actually could hold 3 excursion boats. I have spoken with a representative from the Corps of Engineers, and we submitted the old the 1991 application and our permit that we had for him to review. I've talked to DNR representative in Eau Claire and sent him the same information on the the 1991 permit. Today, Deb and I just finished up the application for the new permit. We'll be reviewing it tomorrow, and we could actually get that sent off shortly. I think we're just going to try to get a better map of the location, and so we should finish up that tomorrow, and we could get that. We'll probably have it reviewed by Devin or whoever, and we'll get that sent off. If anyone would like to review it before we send it off, or from the park board?
What's a realistic timetable on an answer from the Corps?
I know once they get it, there's, once they review it, I think they have a 30-day reviewing period. That's for public comment. So I don't know beyond that how long that would be. So
Can you recap kind of the basic of what's going to change down there? Is he adding X feet of dock? Was it 50-some feet? Or
I think it was, actually the consideration is reversing the dock the way it is right now. Right now it's the transient dock boaters have to come in and around the backside. The idea is to turn the dock the opposite way so they can come straight in. That being that the boats wouldn't have to go through any part of the mooring area, so they wouldn't have to go around. We're actually moving the whole dock within 6 feet of the shoreline. Then the main dock where you come down the gang plank to the floating dock, we're proposing a 10-foot wide dock at an angle, so it's actually facing south west, a little bit of a southwest angle, so it'd be easier for the excursion boats to dock and take off. Then to the west, I think we're going to add on, I don't have the blueprint.
It's
84 feet?
Yeah.
84 feet, and that would be for a couple extra slips for the courtesy docks. And then from that point, there's going to be, the plan is to have 2 48-foot docks going out from that, and then you could have the dinghy storage off of each one of those docks. Possibly with some type of floating, like a jet ski floating dock that would be tied up that people could bring the dinghies up, and so they're floating on those. So kind of the plan that's been submitted to the park board and to the council.
did I see a cost estimate from Gordy on this? Did he? 15,000?
Just some preliminary numbers being talked about was, a river dock is roughly $110 a lineal foot for a 5-foot dock. I think we had to figure it out that it's with the dock going west and with the 2 48-foot docks, the dinghy portion of it would be about 140 feet. So we're looking at about $15,000 for that portion. I know the cruise line owner, the dock owner, actually would like to see it make possibly a 3-year payback. So 5,000 per year divided by 50 ding is, we're just kind of looking at about $100 a year. My numbers are right.
Okay.
That's rough, it's just up in the air, so we haven't even discussed other than that. That's just kind of a rough estimate.
So what's the next 1, 2, 3 steps here? What's going to happen next? You're going to submit the permit and then...
And first of all, get approval.
Yeah.
So that's what we're being directed to do right at the moment.
Okay.
We did have a meeting with some of the mooring people last week, just an informal meeting, and they had some of their concerns addressed. Maybe they'll, I don't know if we're going to get into that tonight or not. You guys had some more. So I think their biggest concern was the distance from the dock itself to the westernmost mooring site is about 1,300 feet. That was their biggest concern, was access, the distance from that area. So it's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, we actually have a presentation for you. Give us some time to listen to it.
Sure.
Do you have a drawing of what the dock is going to look like once it's all finished?
I have it's upstairs. I can run up and get it. If you guys want to start doing your presentation, I could go up and get a copy and bring it.
Okay, any other questions for Tom before he goes to get that item? Okay. Well, I guess then we'll move it. We've got folks in the audience who would like to share information with us. We'd like to invite you to come up. If you'd state your name and your address, please. Please. Thank you.
My name is Ray Lehman. I live in Afton, 5118 Trading Post Trail in Afton, Minnesota. Been at the moorings since the initiation of the moorings back in 1979, so it's been a while. Our group out there are 49 mooring holders, and over the years it's been kind of a mixed crowd coming to the city. We've organized and gotten together, and back in the initial stages there was a group called the Bilgewater Yacht Club, BWC, and we have reinstituted that. We have a spokesperson, Roger Johnson, who unfortunately was not able to be here because of previous commitments, and Roger went through and has about a 3-page presentation here, which I understand that this is a public meeting and not a public hearing, and I'm sensitive to that, having sat where you're sitting now for 4 years as the chairman of the Afton Parks Commission. So I'm sensitive to your feelings on that. Basically, we can do is we will hand this out to you folks so you can go through and read the whole thing. What we wanted to do is at least come to you and let you know that we have some concerns. We have some concerns primarily, as Tom mentioned, with the new dock proposal, and our major concern with that is the safety. What is being asked of some people is to row to their boats about a quarter of a mile. A quarter of a mile is 1,320 feet, and some of these people will be over that in order to get to their boats. It's a long way. And in a day when it's nice weather, okay, they can get there. Maybe even get there. Some people have said, oh, well, put a little motor on your boat. Okay, that's not really the situation. It's not whether or not you're rowing or paddling or how you get there. It's the matter of the distance in a small craft across what are sometimes prevailing winds out of the south. It's quite a dangerous situation. So safety is probably one of our primary concerns with the what's being proposed. The second thing is some of the costs that are involved. Having this as a dockage that's being actually kind of put together for a private individual, although with our usage of it, we're being asked to pay back to somebody else so that they will own a dock over a 3-year period. And we kind of have a little concern about that. I mean, the thought of having a $100 a year fee actually is better than the fees that we've been charged in the past, which has been, for the last few years, it's been $233, I believe, is the last, 231, something like that, 230 and change. So those are a couple of our major concerns. Anybody know that have I covered what we were trying to do here on this thing?
And we're unilaterally against their proposal.
Well, yes, and as I mentioned at the beginning, we have organized the Village Yacht Club. There's been hundreds of emails going around and phone calls and meetings, and appreciate the time that Tom has taken to let us bend his ear, and that's been nice of him. The mayor's been good. Some of the council members have been awfully nice too, to take their time to listen to our concerns on this. It seems to keep on going forward, and it is just almost across the board of the 49 mooring holders, it is considered to be a unsafe and a bad idea. And the idea that we would like to see, and if you say this is a bad idea, okay, then come to me with a good idea. And the good idea that we see is taking and putting something on the dike, having stairways on the dike that would allow direct access to the moored boats, and a controlled storage of the tenders, of the mooring tenders. And they're dinghies, they're not dingies, as was in the drawing there, by the way. Anyway, so I think that covers pretty much what we wanted to say, unless anybody else wants to add to my...
Well, I actually have copies for all of you, so you can take this and read it at a later time in detail.
Considering the time involved, and I know that you have to get going along, so I don't want to be taking too much of your time, but I think we've covered... Do you have questions of us?
So did you ever come up with a calculated estimate for the stairs, Dennis?
The cost of the stairs? Yes. We figured about $9,000 per stair, and having 5 stairs along there, and the number was chosen because it's kind of the mooring area is about 1,300 feet long. It divides up fairly evenly. It also divides up fairly evenly with the 49, although there are 50 boat places allowed, there's only 49 actual boats out there. So it divides out fairly well. $9,000 per concrete stairway, and then also allowing for storage of the dinghies at that spot.
And that's kind of the plan that Mr. Kroll kind of presented, with the 5-foot concrete sidewalk with the pipe down the middle. That's
correct.
And then cover cutting through the
curbing, the barrier.
and also engineering.
The concept here was that the stairways would just go right down into the water, pretty much like they do in the park right now. They just go right down to the water. So a boat can come up to that. One of the tenders can come up to that, and no matter what the height of the water, there will be a stair to come up to, and get off. There will be a railing to hold on to and get off, get out of your dinghy safely. On either side of that stairway, then, of this, I think it was a 5-foot stairway from whatever. Of the stairway, there would be like river run rock. It would look nice. It would be easy to bring the tenders on up and then have them secured at the top.
5 times 10.
It would eliminate all those,
By order.
all the pallets and some of the other stuff that you know, which I've never done, and I was accused of having a picnic table out there to dry, and that picnic table floated in and it landed next to where my dinghy is. I didn't do it. Okay, I don't know where that picnic table came from, but it was not ours. But they would eliminate a lot of that type of thing and make it look an awful lot better. It would be safer. You know, the $45,000 expense for the for those. I mean, we've paid a bit of money over the years in park improvement fees. About $150,000 in park improvement fees that the specifically just park improvement fee that the mooring holders have paid. That's not for any other expenses involved with trash removal or police or insurance or postage or secretarial, but strictly the park improvement fee, about $150,000.
Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time and to share your information with us. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share with us tonight?
Pass that around if you'd like, and I left a couple more copies.
Great. Thank you. Tom, anything else that you want to share?
I'm not sure how to, you know, proceed with this. I mean, I'm being directed to proceed with the application for the excursion dock extension. So we're going to do that until, just to keep that going, and unless I get any other direction from the park board or the city council. So we're going to proceed with that, and I don't know if there's going to be another a motion tonight to present anything different to the council, or I'm not sure how the park board will handle that.
That was kind of my thought, because at this point the council has basically said they won't be along the dike, and they have directed you in the direction you're moving. So I guess I'm not exactly sure, other than proceeding, what would be next. So
based on that information, we will unless there's a motion from someone here to.
Madam Chair, can I comment?
Please, if you'd like to go back up to the podium, that would be great. Then the whole audience can hear you also. Thank you.
Appreciate you. You had asked the question about the council currently has this, exactly, how did you say that again now? That they've been.
well, it has already been decided by the council that the tenders were to be removed from the dike and won't go back there.
As my understanding is that the won't go back there part may not necessarily be so. In our meetings with the mayor, I think that he gave us the indication that is still a possibility of having tenders, that's not off the table. I think he wants to have all things on the table. The fact that the tenders are not allowed on the dike is something that was caused by ordinance of the city, and that could be changed by modification of that ordinance or by putting it into the lease that we have as mooring holders. So we are leasing that part of the bottom of the river, and part of that lease could be the ability to have a tender located on shore.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I'm the representative from the council on this park board, and that was one thing that when the removal came, I actually voted against it because I wanted to leave out the forever part, because I wanted to be able to look at all options. So my understanding, and maybe the mayor and I see it differently, I don't know. My understanding is that at this point it is a not to return type of deal, because that was why I did not vote for it, because I wanted to leave options open. So I guess we'll just have to, figure it out between park board and council what our options are.
Is the feeling of the park board that it would be, that it should still be on the table to allow that?
Well, if we have if there's someone who's willing to make a motion to do something other than what Tom's been instructed to do, I think that would be the way we'd move forward. So, based on what Tom has been asked to do as a result of council action and previous discussions with the park board, again, we'll look if there's someone here who'd like to make a motion to redirect those efforts. Is there anyone who'd like to make a motion to have Tom take a different course? I'll ask one more time. Okay. At this point, then, based on what has been decided up to this point in time, we'll look to Tom to continue on the course that's been set unless there is something that comes out of the council meeting or a future park meeting. But we do appreciate the information that you've shared with us, and we will go from there. Anything else, Tom?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Then the next item on our agenda tonight is the 2013 mooring policy. And this is for information purposes tonight. You'll take a look at the staff recommendation on here is to review the information. We'll take it home, review the information, and then to recommend the park board review and make recommendations on the mooring policy at the January 2013 park board meeting. The fees or the fee items will be reviewed and discussed at the January meeting. But again, tonight this was primarily for information purposes. Are there any questions or comments, or Tom, anything you want to share on this policy?
I think it's just more of a little bit of clarification on some of the proof of liability insurance and the proof of ownership of the boat. Sometimes they lapse mid-season, and we just like a better way to identify some of those insurance policies, mid-season. It's hard for us to go through everything, and it should be the responsibility of the moorers to, if they do lapse it, to make sure that we get the new copy of the insurance policy, and if the boat were to be sold. So other than that, it's basically stays the same.
Okay. Great. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Tom tonight before we take this home and bring it back next month?
Is this the type of policy that at some point should include some verbiage about dinghies? Is that
Pretty much, that's where you'd put the language in.
would be in this policy,
Yeah,
right?
if it goes,
Okay.
back to that one.
I don't think there's any verbiage in here now about.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay.
It's-
All right.
So based on that, do you want to make a recommendation, or we'll revisit this in January with those recommendations? Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, then the next item on our agenda is the boat launch summary, the 2012 boat launch summary. And your packet has information about the boat launch summary. You'll see there's red and black text. The red is attendant, the black was funds that were put in the box. And then the last page also talks about boat launch stickers. This is the first year that we had season passes. And you'll see that we had 64 city residents who had season passes, 41 non-city residents or non-city passes, and then we had 82 resident stickers. So it looks like we had a great year at the boat launch this year. Tom, any comments on the boat launch? And
just for
how the season went?
clarification, if you see that most of the time that there's more money that was collected through the just the pay box, but then generally our attendants are there on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, you know, during really busy months. And you can see that I think the reason that you're not seeing a lot of red numbers on there is because of the fact that a lot of them got the season passes. The other thing is, it's, you know, we could say, why do we have the attendance down there? But I'll tell you that on a busy weekend, it's just a way to control it, to have a little a uniformity down there. It's just, sometimes it can get utter chaos down there. People, you know, especially when it gets busy and the boat launch fills up by, you know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on a really busy July or August weekend. So I'd still recommend that we have some kind of attendant down there on weekends.
I just like that they're there to let people know the lot is full. You're not going to be able to park.
Yeah, so.
Because there's nothing, whether they should have known it or not, if you get launched and then find out there's no spots.
Yeah, so I think it's good for
I
just
think
public
it's-
relations. It's just good for, they also watch out for the, you know, some of the restrooms, and they, you know, if that gets really busy, so. I would hope that we would continue having the attendant down there. I think it's well worth it. The other thing is that we have a couple part-time guys that check it during the week, and it seems like they keep people honest, just by them checking and things like that. So
Sure.
I think it's been a good year. The water stayed low, and we didn't have any big flooding like the year before, so it was a really good year for us.
Do we enforce some kind of violation? I mean, if there are people parking there that haven't paid or this or that, are we?
Say if there's someone parked overnight, we'll call the police and have them, they'll get a parking ticket. Otherwise, if we, you know, some of the attendants check, and if they make sure that there's that little stub receipt in their dash. If that's not there, then generally they give them a little envelope and say that, you know, you weren't paid, and they get a little, you know, a little pink envelope.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a legal fine or anything, but usually it's kind of a friendly reminder, and most of the time people will pay if they.
Most of the time
Sometimes
they'll
I
call.
even drive
Yeah.
down there.
They'll call usually and just
Check.
say that their number slipped down, and
Oh.
then they'll have
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's for
Yeah.
the most part, it's fine.
I think there's a few that sneak through, but I think
Oh,
overall, I think the people
Oh, good.
have been very good about it.
Great.
Did we budget for a similar attendant type of coverage for this
Yep,
next
yep.
year as
And that has
well?
been all approved. I mean, the figures that we had in for our park budget
Yep.
were all approved a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments you want to share with us about the boat launch, or? Okay. Any questions for Tom? Okay, then the next item on our agenda tonight is project update, Parks projects. Tom?
Well, like we talked about last time, it hasn't changed much. Pretty much all the projects have been completed for the year. We do have the hockey rink and the skating rink ready to go. Unfortunately, the weather isn't cooperating with us at this time, but we are ready to go when things change. We put up straw bales up on the sliding hill when the snow will come, so we're pretty much ready, but we're still working in the parks. You know, we'll get some of the picnic tables stored and put away, and some of the ones that need repair are set off to the side, and they bring 2, 3 at a time into the garage, and we'll do maintenance or painting and staining on the picnic tables. We're doing work on some of the equipment and things like that during the winter. Then also everyone's together, and Parks, Public Works are together, so we utilize staff for snow plowing, and when there's no snow to plow, we utilize most of the people for tree removal, pruning, things like that. So we keep the guys busy all year.
Great.
Okay.
Any questions for Tom? Great, thank you, Tom. Okay, any other business or anything on upcoming agendas that any of the park board members would like to have noted today? Okay. If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn?
Give it a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
See, we made it.